Ding ding, connect the dots. Welcome to another edition of Connect the Dots, a podcast where we bring people to you from various walks of life, whether they are in business, they are politicians, they are in art and craft, whatever they do that they're making impacts in their endeavor. That's what we talk about. On today's edition, we made sure to bring someone in business that is very versed in what she does. She's got a lot of business going on and she does business trainings for a lot of people, old, young, middle age, whoever it is that needed that business perspective that would keep whatever they are starting to go smoothly, you know. But doing business in Nigeria, you find out that young people just see someone doing business and they just want to jump into it to start the business without doing feasibility studies, checking their competitors, whatever it takes to make the business thrive. So in 9 months, mostly you see new businesses folding up. And this is what we'll be unraveling on this edition of Connect the Dots. Remember that we're all about building resilience, mindfulness, and even we care a lot about people's mental health at the end of the day. Welcome to the podcast, Mrs. Aisha Bashir Tukur.
Welcome, Halima.
Thank you so much. So, you know, doing business in Nigeria is a lot, and you're a business expert. You do business, you run business yourself. You've been into this for a couple of years. I think you would tell us better about it. Doing business, it's very important, and where you started all of this, your journey from. We'd like to have insight about it.
I started business as far back as 2007.
Wow. That's 15 years ago.
Yeah, I started as a cosmetician selling cosmetics. Mm-hmm. And it's something I drive out of passion for surfing the net, not that because I love makeup or I do makeup. Mm-hmm. I was privileged to start working early with an IT firm. So most of the times at work, once I'm done with my work, I have free internet to do nothing. Then internet was gold, unlike now that we could have access on our phones. So I've been going through a series of websites. The first one that caught my attention more was Marks and Spencer website, then Avon. I'm sure a lot of us that are the oldies, we could remember Avon far back as 30, 40 years ago.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And when I was surfing the net, I came across that Avon website, and I realized that the representative who takes the order is a Nigerian, and he assists in shipping your products to Nigeria, Abuja or Lagos.
Oh, from Marks and Spencer.
From Avon now. So when I looked at it, I was like, oh, let me see what I can do with this. We had a conversation with him on Yahoo Messenger then. There was nothing like Facebook, Instagram or even WhatsApp. Mm. So we started our conversation with him on Yahoo Messenger, then we took it up to emails. He sent me some account details. I met some others online, sent him screenshots, and that is where we started. I didn't tell anybody.
But then, this is really impressive. Like, you don't know somebody just through Yahoo Messenger and you trusted that person.
To be honest, I take a lot of risks. But even at that, before I placed the first order, what I did was I did a lot of research on the company, because I asked him a series of questions. Who are the shippers? He said, okay, that is who I am. His name is Richard. He said, I'm a shipper, not really an Avon representative. And I was like, you are a shipper, not an Avon representative, so why are you selling Avon cosmetics, or why are you a rep? So he went ahead to explain to me that he's from Lagos, Nigeria, and he has a lot of contacts who are interested in doing Avon business or getting for their use, but getting it shipped direct. Avon doesn't do direct shipment. You have to go through third-party agent.
Oh.
Yeah, so I now wrote Avon to know. I asked him of his Avon rep number, and he did send it to me. I now sent an email to Avon to confirm that he's a rep. And
wow.
Yes, and Avon responded to me that he is a rep.
Oh, wow.
I went ahead to ask him of his shipping company details and the rest. It took me a week to do all this. So after doing that, I just went into prayer. I said, oh yeah, Allah, I've done my part. I've did my research. I've did my investigation. If this is best for me, is it for me? And we started. To be honest with you, I've not had any issues until I diversify and also move from doing only Avon and introduce all sort of things into my business. Now, while I was doing the Avon, my sister got married. She's in UK. I had interest in Marks and Spencer, like I told you earlier. So I now monitor their promos. You know, online shopping, it's quite easy, but you can miss out on information. And being newly married, I didn't want to like start disturbing her, help me go to the store, help me do that. Since I'm an internet savvy person, I'm also a specialist, a computer scientist, why not do this yourself? So I always look out for deals online, but particularly Marks and Spencer, then only. So if I see shoes, if I see bags on sales, I will go in, put it in my card, send it to her, give her my details, she could log in and pay. And after I've done that for 4-5 months, I was like, why not have your own bank account that you could make payment by yourself?
Wow.
I walked into GT, I told them what I needed, and GT opened a domiciliary account that had Euro, Naira, and Master.
All in one.
All in one. And when GT opened that account for me, all I do is I'll go to zone 4, buy my dollar, put it in my account. And at a point in time, I became friends with one Aisha in GT. I could just tell her I need dollars. Then dollars was abundant. She would ask me, okay, fund your local card, use your card to buy the dollar online from GT platform.
Wow.
She could send me some forms on Yahoo. I will fill in, I will send it to her. And
this is interesting.
That was it. This has been going on for quite a long time. But you know us, we want to start business today and get it grown in one day.
Yes, that's the thing. Like, I'm still wowed. Like, I'm perplexed to know all of these details. So you started this whole thing 15 years ago,
yes,
and no one would think about it. That's why we see you whenever you're doing stuff, you're putting all the expertise in it, and a lot of people are really interested to know, oh, who is this woman and where did she start from? So going back to all the business that you do, you diversified from just Avon products to other products. How did that span out?
You see, the truth of the matter is whatever business you are going to go into, I don't have to go into details, that would be for another time. You have to do your survey so well.
Research.
You need to do your research, you need to survey and see, okay, is there market for this? When I started, people were more focused on getting the perfumes and the body care, not really the cosmetics from Avon now.
Okay.
And along the line, when I started, I could remember so well, dollar was around 93 Naira to $1.
Wow.
So at a point in time, when the dollar started going high, the market start going down. I mean, like the sales. Yes, you make some sales, you make some purchases, people will buy, but it was taking time. So from that same office, I regulate going to Lagos for trainings in my IT field. And anytime I get to Lagos, I go into Balogun Market. And I start seeing wrappers and laces, and I was like, oh, almost everyone in Abuja has become a northerner. We make laces, we make fabrics to wear always. Why not try those wrappers? I went into Balogun Market. I took 2 days. I went round and round studying and seeing what was going on in Balogun Market. And funny enough, fortunate for me, we have a lot of family members in Lagos, and they know most of these people. They know those that have been in business for long. They know those that their quality of wrappers are good. I went into 2-3 shops, and I can tell you, from that 2008 that I started doing wrappers till today, I still maintain the same relationship and contact with at least 4 of my suppliers in Lagos.
Since 2008?
Since 2008, because that is when the fabric thing was more. So when Facebook now started, most people knows me for fabric seller, because then not everybody was on Facebook and not everybody was selling on Facebook. But I go, instead of posting my pictures and my lifestyle, I post my fabrics.
Wow.
And I got a lot of contacts from there. Moving on, 2, 3, 4 years into it, network marketing came. I started, and I saw an avenue to use my contacts to grow. And this is where we are today, alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah.
I can really tell you that I have 2, 3, 4 businesses doing well, whether I'm there or not. It's been a while I didn't come to this store. I mean, my managers could tell I've not been in this store for more than 3 weeks. Wow. And everything is going.
That's what they mean by trying to create investment that will bring you passive income instead of you being present every other time.
If we are always present, we are yet to be in business.
Yeah.
We have to get to that level that whatever business we are doing, we should build it to the level that you don't need to be involved.
Wow.
And that can only happen if you're focused and determined, because it's not about the money. You can sink in money in your business, you can put in all the resources. If you don't monitor it and you don't create a system that will make it stand alone, there's going to be a problem.
Wow.
And I remembered you saying in the intro, some businesses go down as early as 9 months. Yes.
Yeah.
It does happen, because why does it happen? In most cases is we just go into this business because I have the need of 10,000 naira. So I saw Halima is saying always sold out on her status. She always sells her fabric. It's better I start selling fabric like Halima, so that I can get my 10,000 naira profit from that wrapper and get to solve my business. My problems. But it's not sustainable, Halima.
It is not.
It's not. Why are you in business? Why do you want to go into business? I always tell people, if you go into business because you're stranded, you need money, your business will fold immediately.
I think we should call it buy and sell. It's not business.
Yes, of course, buy and sell, because when you have the need of 5,000, for instance, and you go in to buy fabrics and sell, or shoes or wrappers, and you make that 5,000 naira profit, and you take the profit and spend it on your needs, do you think you have any money again to put back into that buying and selling? You won't grow. And with time, you start eating into the investment. And before you know it, you're out of business for so many reasons. Wow. So many.
This is interesting.
You understand? So we have to really understand, why am I in business? Why do I even want to start business? And if I start, what am I putting in place? Where do I go from here? A lot of time when you call people, come and invest in business classes, business coaching, mental health classes, and the rest, they just feel like these people just need money.
It's a waste of
time and resources. But the truth of the matter is, anybody who has gone through series of years of experience is totally different from you, novice, who wants to start today.
Wow.
And it's even shorter. Your journey will be short, because from experience, I will tell you all the hurdles I've been through. You understand? If you're to source in for, let's say, contact now, do you fly to Lagos, go to market and look for contacts and come back?
No.
If I have it and probably happen to be my student or something, or we have good relationship, why can't I share with you?
Definitely.
You understand? So it's just about, you understand, it's about using your contact and leverage to get those necessary information that you want, and be open with that person. I want to start XYZ, regardless of whether the person is doing same business or not. If that is what you have interest in, if you've gone through all the pre-checks, there are pre-checks for starting business, but we don't know about it.
Wow. Please, can you run us through the pre-checks briefly?
Briefly, who are you? You can't start business without knowing who you are. What is your risk level? How well can you take risks? Why do you want to start this business? Have you done your visibility studies? Are you starting because everybody is doing? There are times that you see that everybody is doing importing
business.
There are certain times that you see everybody is into makeup. There were trends that everybody was a caterer. When small shops business came in, I was thinking, it has come to stay. There will be no any other business. Look at it today. How many people does this? So when you're done with your pre-checks, the next thing is to sit down and have a conversation with yourself. Okay, fine. Who do I need? Where do I seek for help? Be it free help, be it paid help. Where do I start? It saves you time, it saves you energy. You can't just fly into Lagos, go get contact of who is selling wrapper and shoes and come back, and tomorrow you want to sell kitchen wares, you now go to Kano, get and come back. No. In most cases, we start different businesses before we get to understand which works better for us. Now, for the past 15 years, I can close my eyes and tell you today, if I bring in XYZ, I know I will sell them down.
Wow.
I had that experience, but I didn't just do that and stick to it only when I started. At a point in time, I was studying, I was evaluating myself, I was understanding what works better for me, you know. And another thing is, you can't just start selling wrappers today and jump into selling kitchenwares tomorrow. Next tomorrow, you're doing hand soap. In 1 week, you've done like 10 businesses. How will you identify and evaluate what is working and what is not working for you, you know? All these things matters, and we don't just, knowledge for business and everything now is often in the open, free.
Yeah, it is.
15 years back, I can't recall any business coach that I know in Nigeria that I can go to their handle and learn stuff. But now on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, there are thousands of resources that are even free. and they are quality resources.
Wow.
So what is left for you is to take your time, invest your time, go through these things, and start outlining the things that you need to focus on and the things that you need to put your energy on.
Okay.
But you see us having that 24/7, all we care about is trends of who is getting married to who.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
we keep scrolling, and there is something with time. When you start scrolling, you might end up scrolling 2, 3, 4 hours. You don't know.
You don't know.
You
Wasting
know?
your own
You've
precious
seen this
time.
Ashobi, you've seen this dance steps coming in. TikTok is even another wall on its own.
Wow.
Those that are making millions on TikTok are making millions.
And those that are wasting their time are
you know,
doing so.
Those that are wasting are just wasted. Well, I won't call it waste. Probably they don't really have the need for it.
Well, okay, with this, I think we should go on a quick short break, taking a message from Abuja Sleepwear and Lingeries and also Hanana Nigeria Limited. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching Connect the Dots, and we're all about building resilience, mindfulness, and we care about people's mental health a lot. In this world that we are in, there are a lot of things are going on. Before we went on the short break, we're talking about pre-checks for businesses, and we took message from Abuja Sleepwear and Lingerie and then Hanana Nigeria Limited. So let's get straight back into the business of this discussion. Like, it's interesting to know that there are some pre-checks that we all need to do when we're starting businesses. And what scope of pre-checks do you think, or what's available resources can one use to do the pre-checks to know whether they want to do business? For instance, I wanted to start a fashion business, and I've got tailors that would do the work for me. I checked around my competitors. I check, is there market for what I really want to start doing? And I see that, yeah, there are lots of people that need such services. And because on my status, I'm able to put something and people say, how much is it? Where will I get it from? And all of that. What are those yardsticks, or where we can get the resources for pre-checks for new businesses that can be sustainable? I mean,
you see, for every business is unique, and what will work for business A might not work for business B. But overall, part of the overview that works for every single business, you've mentioned a few. Where do I get my resources? Where do I get my customers? Is this thing going to be something that people will be needing it? Is my services or my products relevant? Is it solving a need? Now, the major thing for me, I think, is why do you even want to start this business in the first place? Let's start from that. If your why is not strong, the next week dollar goes up, you will close your shop.
Yeah.
If your why is not strong, let me use your own business as an example. If your tailors decide not to show face, you will close down. Another reason is, if for instance a customer comes with a custom made orders, make this shirt for me, make this skirt for me, make this blouse for me, make this, and you are sure you took all the necessary details, all the measurement, all the sizing, and God forbid something happened which is natural and common, especially in the fashion industry, and probably she comes back and she was like, this is not what I asked you to do. This is not it. She started yelling, she's shouting, okay, you can't even get her to fit in the dress to see if it will work or not. And she just dumps it and walk out. You're gonna close down.
If the whys are not strong.
Because the whys are not strong, and probably you even have a bad day. It might even be possible you queued all day trying to get fuel because you can't rely on the PHCN supply to get the machines running, and you spend 6-8 hours on the queue, and the next thing you walk into the store or where you're taking your orders or your measurement is a customer yelling, an agitated customer. You'll be like, what? I'm done. I've already spent hours on queue just to make this thing happen, and now while I'm here, she's this. I'm not gonna open. It falls back to your why. If your why is strong, if your why is defined, if you know your purpose, if you know what you want to achieve, if you know where you're going to, it will make almost everything seamless and easy. Now, is there an easy business plan? No. Nothing is easy in this life. But what do you do when challenges comes in? What do I do? How do I tackle it? How do I go about it? Now this is where your personality comes in. Who are you? Are you even mentally fit to go into business?
Wow.
Because trust me, we keep talking about mental health. I'm depressed. If there is any word that is being misused these days, is the depression. Like, I'm depressed. And you start asking questions. I don't even want to go into that. It's a topic for another day. What is depressing you? There are things that you don't have control over it. I wake up and start getting angry and start getting worked up because there is no light and I can't work. Can I change that? No. But what can I do? Probably if I can afford to source for a gen, it might solve my need. Yes, it might be an extra cost.
Expense.
You understand? But then it solved my need. Instead of using my energy, my brain, and getting drained on why there is no electricity, I should find a way around it.
Wow.
Am I going to look for power bank if my customers are to call me and my phone is down? Or I will just sit and be yelling and be wailing that there is no light. I can't charge my phone. So are you psychologically ready to go in?
Business.
Are you open to all the challenges? You might be thinking, okay, the only challenge for me, I as Halima, if I'm going into fashion, is the tailors. You'll be amazed someday, the same vendor that you've been getting your supplies of fabric from might disappoint you.
Absolutely.
You might be surprised that the same logistics you're using might decide to go offline when you need it the most.
That's true, because I've experienced it, that I'm looking for a dispatch rider and the numbers of 3 of them were not going through. And the one that went through said, I've closed for the day and a customer needed that fabric and I'm too busy at work that I cannot risk to go out and deliver.
That is even the least of it. Ask me why. It's even within, you can decide to say, okay, let me bear the cost, let me do Uber for her or Bolt. Let's take, for example, I keep referencing back to Balogun because it's most easily accessible for us and is a large market that serves the African market. You can decide to say, okay, I always order my fabrics on Thursday from Balogun market. And once my vendor or my supplier gets his or her own alert that same Thursday,
she will send that.
I'm sure it's leaving the market on Thursday. And all your calculation is Saturday morning, you're picking these fabrics and you will take it to the store and start work. Trust me, it will leave that Thursday. Probably it will be stocked at Lokoja for the next 5 days.
Oh my goodness, and you've got people on ground waiting.
They are on the ground waiting. Your vendor has sent you a new and latest fabric coming to town. Everybody wants to do a pre-order. Probably she had even a wedding coming, but she knows that you deliver because anytime you put it on status and she asks you, Halima, when can I get it? And you'll be like, my supplier just sent me now. So I just made payment, or I'm about to make payment. So I'm hopeful in the next 2 days it will be here. She'll be like, oh yeah, that was what happened the last time. And she'll now reference back to the previous one. Oh yeah, I could remember. Probably she has even done 4 to 5 transactions with you and it was seamless. You understand? She'll be like, oh, let me just go and relax. I'm going to get my fabric from Halima and she's going to make me a very beautiful dress. Whatever. And then 5 days into, you'll be like, you on your own, you will even decide to call her and explain so she won't be expecting. We have a challenge. This is what happened, and probably one of the logistics companies said they can't transport, which is part of most of their rules. They don't like transporting, or let me say, moving things from a broken down car into another car to move. They so mostly, you understand, they mostly try to fix it, the car and get it moving. And for instance, if fixing that car takes only a day or 2, they might go into Lagos or come to Abuja, whichever is closer, to get that part that is done, go put it with the hope that it will start.
And you would not.
Trust nature. And it won't. And what could have been fixed in a day or 2
will take another 4 or 5 days. Just like the Lokoja flooding. They have got people stranded, vehicles, goods worth millions of hundreds of millions.
A lot of companies, those that are in perishable business, made huge losses that time. And who thought it could have happened this way? It has never happened in the history of this country. I've never had a day that there was a breakdown in Lokoja, that there was no free movement for 2 weeks. For the past 15 years, it's just like COVID. You know, probably you ordered something, it has left to UK and you're hopeful it's coming here on Wednesday. Then COVID struck and there was total lockdown. And you're like, how did this happen? You know? So all those things, are they the things that you can even take?
Wow.
Because if you can't, you're going to cry your eyes out for the next 3-4 days, and the 5th day you just come and tell your workers,
please, I'm sorry, we are closing down.
If you're even strong enough to even say sorry, because probably you're deep in that maze that everything annoys you, and the next person that even asks you what is going on in your life, you'll just flare up. You know, because it is, because you and only you know what you have been putting in place. So these are part of the things that I keep saying. Business is not for everyone.
It's not for everyone.
But if you're ready to learn on your way, on your journey to building your success, then trust me, there are days you look back and you'll be amazed on how far you've grown, because psychologically you're going to grow. Financially, that's normal. And trust me, you will be spirituated as well, because there are some things you'll be like, this one, I have to pray over it.
Absolutely.
You understand? So to me, business is not just about finances. It comes with lots of growth across everything. That's what I think.
Oh, wow. Business is not all about finances. It's got a lot of elements that you need to put together.
Excellent.
Wow. So you're running 4 businesses, you said. How are you able to juggle? You know, initially I said to you that there is what is called passive income, where you don't need to be present and then you'll be able to still do your business. How do you manage all of this? Because it's something that we need to all learn. Because for instance, I would say I started a fashion business, and then when I went to school, I stopped because I didn't get the people that could make it continue running at the time.
You see, it depends on the kind of business that you are starting, and it depends on the energy and the sacrifice you're willing to put in. When I started, I didn't start all at the same time. I paid attention to the buying and selling of the cosmetics and fabrics for almost 5 years or more.
Okay.
It has gotten to a point that I was stable. I understood the market. I understood the challenge, what to expect and what not, before I ventured into network marketing. And when I started my network marketing, I didn't stop the other businesses. Since I have previous experience of dealing with customers and other things, what I needed to do was to learn and grow personally first in terms of network marketing. Then I will now be able to build my team according to the things that I have learned. Of course, we paid huge amount of dollars to learn from those that have been doing it and have done it for a while. We have so many coaches in the network marketing industry that has grown through the ranks, and they've documented their processes. They have their systems that worked for them. So we used all that we paid for that to get it faster and easier. Aside that, the business coaching of a service that I do now is something that I can teach you how I did what I did for the past 15 years that I'm in business.
Wow.
You understand? And learning never stops. I'm still learning. I keep paying for courses. As I'm speaking to you now, I've enrolled in business school. It's continuous learning because trends and challenges will come. So you have to keep learning, you know. As you're learning, you will understand the systems and the processes that you need to put in place that you don't have to be directly involved. Now, let me take you back to your own business model, the fashion industry. There are 1,001 people that are in the fashion industry that sell excellently well-tailored and fashion clothes and accessories that don't even know how to hold scissors.
Absolutely.
You understand? Then there are those that even start by learning. They learn the sewing, they go to a class, a proper fashion house, they sit, they learn how to cut, how to sew, how to do this before they now establish that as a business. Is it wrong? No. Is it right? There is no wrong way, there is no right way to anything. It's what works for you. As a fashion person, you can decide to say, okay, I'm going to outsource XYZ. I have identified my niche in this fashion industry. Yeah, fashion industry is wild, is big. You know, I don't have to do what everybody is doing. Okay, I have figured out this is what I want to do. Am I going to just focus on sewing palazzo skirts, trousers, I mean? So if I'm doing only palazzos, the person who is good in sewing fabrics is not for me. I have to look at who knows how to do palazzos very well, you understand? And I'm not just going to focus on one person. If he fails me, you understand? I will have other options. I will put all those things down. Now, do I need to learn how to do that myself? Yes, it's better, it's best, so that if you have emergency mending here and there for fitting, you can do it. But if you don't have the liberty of time, or you're doing it from another country and the people working for you are in another country, you don't have to learn it. You have to understand the sizing. If somebody comes complaining, okay, measure it for me. There is a tab in the store. Can you help me tell me the length? And it's that simple. The customer can tell you, okay, the length is 58. And from her feedback that she said is short, you will know. You will now look at your book. Okay, you, Aisha, when I was sending you this measurement, I told you the length of her trouser is 40. What she measured is 38. That means you made 38. I don't know if you get me.
Yes,
but if you don't understand all this concept, how will you make it work?
No, it won't work.
So first things first, whatever you need to do or you want to do, you have to even understand, where do I start from and how do I build those systems? What do I need to put in place? What are the things that I'm supposed to consider? Then from that, you can gradually start adding, removing, adding, then work on having a harmonized system that it will function with or without you.
That's a lot. That's a lot. I think there are a lot of key take homes right now, and it is more important to focus on the pre-checks, know your whys, and so you will be able to say, oh, if I'm sticking to this thing or not, if I need to take courses before I start, or if I need to just start outsourcing and all of that. If you're going to give advice, for instance, to someone that is intending to start up a business, whatever type of business that it is, what is the key thing that you focus on? Because, you know, starting business take a lot of courage, and when people start right, it's just give you a free flow to get to the destination that you intended to go to.
To me, the word I will leave anybody who wants to start a business today is get started. Progress over perfection.
Progress over perfection.
Progress over perfection. Halima, when you start dreaming or when you start looking at the things you want to have as a business owner, I don't expect you or myself to see ourselves selling our fabrics on the street under an umbrella. With all due respect, I'm not looking down at people who sells outside or under the umbrella. It's just a natural thing for you and I to want to invest. You know, I want to see that store well arranged with different fabrics, different laces, different dresses made, tailored, that any customer that walks in will be like, wow, I love this space. But when and how will I get there? It's going to take time. That is why I said progress. Just get started. Start from somewhere. Build over it.
Build over it.
Don't wait for the perfect time.
Yeah. In the past 15 years that you've been into business, you've gone through a lot, and it's a process that you decided this is the path I've chosen for myself, and whatever it is, I'm going to take it, go and re-energize myself and go back into the business. What are those key challenges that made you feel like, yeah, I need to just be grounded, get all the trainings that I need to make sure I'm able to do my business wherever I am in the world without any hassle? Like, no, I'm not there, I'm there, things work.
Investments, Halima. Invest in yourself, invest in the system that you're building, and invest in the business itself. Now, you might ask me, investing in the business, how? When you look at this exchange rate, to me, that alone is also investment. You bought $1 at $1,000 for $200,000 in your business. Today we are buying $1,000 for 700 and something.
Yeah.
If we've not invested resilience, we could have closed down. You understand? Okay, for me to be out, up and doing and not be at my place of work, you could see CCTV cameras all over. I track and monitor almost everything online. That is also investment. Forget about the finances that you put in there, but I have to also put in time to look, to check, to watch, to rewind and view all the activities that happens while I'm absent. So, no matter what, be ready to invest all in whatever you want to do.
Wow. Key take home, invest in the business, invest in yourself, and invest in the system that you're going to.
Investment and investment.
Wow.
Invest your time, invest your energy, invest your money, invest, and invest.
Wow,
it's going to pay.
So quickly, before we call it a wrap on this show, if you've got the chance to address like 1 million Nigerians, for instance, on investment and on ease of doing business, sustainable business per se, what will you be telling them?
What I will tell everyone out there who is willing, started, or is in business is look at a product or service that will solve a need. Ask me why. The only time you will remain relevant in your business or service production is when people are coming to get those services or get those products. So if you're not solving it, you'll be out of business in no time. So the focus is not on what is trending or what I want to do. The focus should be on what problem am I solving today? What problem will I be solving tomorrow? And what problem will I be solving in future? Make yourself a problem solver, make your business a problem solver, and then you will be able to stay afloat.
15 years on, where do you see your brand in the next 5 years? Or let me say in the future, because I think you do a lot of things, but where do you see your brand? I mean, the brands that you're managing in business, and then your personal brand too.
I'm more focused on my personal brand. And my personal brand is all about impact, Halima. It's not about what wealth I've acquired, what car I ride on, what clothes I wear on my skin. To me, what is important to me in this life is how many people am I able to impact in this life. So my goal is to impact people who are willing to help themselves. My goal is to get into that environment where whatever it is that is needed can be sourced locally and within. And that can only happen if I'm able to work with people down to the grassroots level. In every environment, you have someone who is willing to buy puff-puff, kosei, washing soap, pencil. But you'll be amazed that when you get to certain environments, you find out that there are 1,001 businesses that is not going on in that place, and everybody is focused on doing one thing. I went for community outreach, and everybody was selling charcoal.
Wow.
And I was wondering, I had to ask them, I said, you people don't eat in here? And they were looking at me. How? I said, okay, who sells maize flour here? They said, there is one malam at the junction. I said, okay, wow. So where do you people get your liquid soap, your Omo to wash your children's uniform, your clothes? And they were like, that person. So I now asked them, why not get those things from this man? And instead of walking down to go get it, add some tokens on it and you make your profit. And they were like, oh, none of them thought of it. The guy sells virtually everything that this community needs. So anything you want, at least the least you could walk to that street is 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Wow.
So there is no emergency. If it's raining, he hasn't opened, they can't use matches. If it's raining, he's not open, they can't buy soap, they can't buy, no emergency, he does everything.
Wow.
So I now told them, within you, spread it out. Halima be selling matches, you be selling liquid soap, get pencil, get notebooks, your children go to the school. You don't need to like always go get out from him, you know. In most cases, it boils down to what we talked about earlier. We keep focusing on what everybody is doing. The things that others are not doing,
without
what are you doing about
what
it?
Needs,
So, and the impact to our economy today is not the billions that is made. It's the tiny tokens and cobbles that are being traded every single day. That's what holds an economy, you know. So this is, for me, this is where my focus is. It's not about your 1 million naira that you want to start business with today. No, I'm focused on someone who has 200 naira who will start a business and will do something out of it and will be sustainable. That is impact for me, and that is where I see myself and my personal brand.
Thank you so much. This is interesting to listen to. I think we need to do part 2, 3, and up to, I don't know, the endless parts that we need to do. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yes. I still find it worthy of having to converse with
Thank you so much. This is amazing. Thank you so much. On this note, we'll call it a wrap on Connect the Dot this week. We've been talking to Mrs. Aisha Bashir Tukur, a business expert. She's into a lot of things, and I know there is a lot to benefit from this woman in business. I think we're going to pin the social media handles of Mrs. Aisha Bashir Tukur so that you can go there. She does a lot of coaching session for young entrepreneurs and all of that, so you can learn. Thanks for joining. See you again next week. Ding ding.